For the last 200,000 years, groups of men have banded together as a means of survival and for the purpose of moving civilization forward. Men built great cities, advanced modern technology, and created economic systems that still prevail today. Unfortunately, those advancements in economic stability have created widespread levels of comfort that even the most wealthy kings in history didn't enjoy. With no great purpose or mission, most men today have accepted this comfort and in turn have become soft, weak, feminized versions of their past ancestors. These men are content with spending their days at jobs they dislike, spending time with people they can hardly tolerate, and the most fulfilling thing in their lives is watching their favorite sports teams or getting lost in their favorite video game. The men of the Unplugged Brotherhood demand more from themselves and, more importantly, from each other. Through mentally and physically challenging in-person retreats and events, these men have discovered that growth only happens when you are willing to show up, force yourself out of your comfort zone, and above all, do the work. Don't waste another day squandering your potential to be the man you were meant to be. Reject comfort, let go of people that are holding you back, and seize the opportunity to join a true brotherhood that will challenge you to become the best version of yourself.
Good evening, guys. What's going on? It's 46th installment of Chopping It Up. How you doing, brother?
What's happening? Good to be here as always.
Yeah, we're good. We got some stuff queued up for you guys. I'm a little red today from being out in the sun, so too bad for you. Suck it up. But yeah, let's dive right into this, Moff. What do we got tonight?
Let's dive right in. We got a couple of questions. So this first one's about workplace politics. And again, I don't think English is the first language, so I'm going to try to paraphrase a little bit. Hello, all. There's been big changes in my workplace. I had a great boss that has left, and now I've got to deal with a new reality. I've got a new manager / boss who is responsible for big picture things, and she thinks highly of me. But in everyday life, and some of this gets convoluted. In everyday life, there's a large influence of people who aren't my superiors and who are crushed by the weight of day-to-day operations. Those people introduced a change in scheduling which contradicts a verbal but long-standing arrangement I had with my old boss. I said, as I've shown many times, the team can count on me when things get tough, but going forward, I'd like the old system to be honored. When I confronted my boss, she says, well, that person, or the old boss, isn't here anymore. It doesn't seem like it was a power play. It was someone who was overwhelmed trying to find any crutch to lean on to do her job, et cetera. There's more conjecture here. So I'm really good at what I do, and I deliver more than they should. And my role has shifted into something unique. I got promoted a few months back in recognition of it. I had structure and stability, which allowed me to deliver in a chaotic system. And now this is threatened. And how should I go about dealing with the situation? The big picture boss values me, but would potentially see me as somebody who's petty, greedy, or seeking special status if she sees me bringing this up as an issue. Small thing in her eyes, like scheduling. She's also not the type who would care about this path that I've had that leads to my growth. And if I bring it up, she might side with the scheduling person or the person who suggested this change. How should I go about fixing this and I protect myself?
Well, I'm confident that you're going to get through this. How about that? Let's start with that. There's a booklet that somebody gave me 25 years ago when I was still working in corporate and collections. And the title of that book is called Who Moved My Cheese?
Great book.
It's a very small book. It's a very simple book. You've read it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, when the cheese moves, you go to the cheese. And sometimes, leadership changes and protocols change and old boss is gone and there's a new boss or whatever it happens to be. You just do the best that you can with what you've been given, and you do the right thing. Like, we constantly tell men out there all the time, always just men, you do what's right, and you're doing that. And you may be recognized for it. You may not be recognized for it. You may, at some point, get the acknowledgement that you're looking for, or you may not, which means that you have to make a decision. If people aren't leading you in the organization in a way that you think is aligned with your skill set and the value that you bring to the table, then uh, it's like being in a crappy relationship where you're not being recognized or you're being abused or whatever. It's like, you can only blame yourself if you stick around. So you got to go looking for greener pastures. Again, guys, this is one of the very significant and strong reasons that I have for pushing entrepreneurship so much. When people complain about their jobs or they express grievances about the cheese being moved and things not going in the way that they want, and you've got more control over your life and the direction that you're going on, the kind of money that you're going to make, how you're going to live if you're writing your own paycheck, if you're running your own business. And yes, I understand not everybody can do it, but I think more of you out there should be doing it than not doing it, if I'm being honest. If you have a tremendous skill set, if you're widely recognized and acknowledged for that skill set, you might want to be looking for greener pastures where you're in the captain seat, not. I mean, I tell my kid this all the time, Off. The vast majority of people out there are stupid. You
So
see it in
many
their
of them.
driving skills, you see it in the choices that they make, you see it in so many things in the way that they handle basic tasks in life. And that's just the reality of the world that we live in, right? And if you see yourself as smarter than the stupid people, then do something about it. That's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much more I have to add. I mean, this is what happens if somebody else gets to tell you when to come in, how to work, how long to work, when you're supposed to be there. Like, this person owns you. Like, when you work at job, when you work a 9 to 5, when you
Yeah.
work a desk job, no matter how good you are at it, and bosses leaving and new bosses coming in can disrupt anybody. Yeah, like, that old reality is now gone, and you are at mercy to whatever this new boss says they want to come in and get done. Now, he's thinking about this the right way. This is a person who has a lot to deal with. This is the new boss has a lot to deal with. She wants to prove her mettle. She wants to prove that she was the right hire. She wants to come in and get things done. So, yeah, bringing up something that's like, oh, well, hey, XYZ boss used to give me this, and maybe it's against protocol or it's not something that's going to directly benefit or help her, then yeah, you could see how she might say no. Anytime
Female
you're trying to get
bosses are tough
somebody,
too.
that's also very tough. Yeah,
They
I've had
they,
my two
they
last
always have
bosses
something to
were like,
prove, right?
totally. And so it will behoove you to figure out, anytime you're trying to get something from someone, figure out how you can make their lives easier first, or figure out how you can add value to them and say, what does this person care about? And then how can I give that to that person? As opposed to thinking like, oh, well, I'm this great employee and I should just get what I want. I'm not saying that's what this guy is doing here. But yeah, it's like, okay, well, if you're great at your job or you're great at this particular skill, then there probably are other companies or other departments out there that would value that skill set. Or have you met any industry contacts? Have you met people in your networking when you go to conferences that could potentially hire you or use you? Or have you accrued any special skills that you could leverage into your own business and your own thing? Um, the simple answer is, this is what happens when you work a job. This is the 9 to 5 life. And the lack of freedom is what you get in return for a steady paycheck. So, yeah, I mean, I think you put it very well. And I don't think there's much more to say about that.
I'm not saying that becoming an entrepreneur doesn't come with its own set of problems. It does. It's just, at least in my opinion, if you're doing it right, the problems that you're dealing with, the fights that you're fighting, the employee issues, the contract of the supplier, the legal issues, the accounting bullshit, the taxes due, the source deductions being done properly or not being done properly, running payroll, whatever it happens to be, all of that is worth it if you're at the helm of the boat, because you don't have anybody to blame or cry to or whine to if you're not happy with the direction the ship is traveling in, because you're driving it. So it's it's that whole extreme ownership stuff, Moff, that Jocko Willink talks
Oh,
about.
yeah.
That's why I like entrepreneurship. I'm never going to go away from it. I'm not employable. I don't think I'm ever going to be employable. I mean, if I had a friend that was running a business that I could add some value to, and they said, "Hey, I want to bring you in for a while. Could you help me out?" I would be an employee in that kind of environment. But even then, it would only be with a set end date where there would be an exit. if you find yourself constantly frustrated under the authority or rule of somebody else because you think that they're, I mean, a pretty good indicator that you might want to look at entrepreneurship is if you find yourself as the smartest guy in the room. And I keep telling you guys this, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, very
Anyway.
well said. This is something we can. Do you know much about this? About the Raja Jackson
A
incident?
little bit. His son beat the shit out of a guy that they had a beef because he disrespected him. Like, I don't know, Moff. Have you seen those fatigue videos
I
out
don't
there?
know. Do we want to go down this road because it's a slippery
I mean,
slope?
have
We
you
can
seen
go
the
down that
fatigue
road.
videos out there? I think it's
I've
one of
got
those like
plenty of
fatigue matters
fatigue.
where it's like,
I got
it's just
got plenty of fatigue.
like control your emotions, right? Like, I get that you're in a ring and you're fighting, but there comes a time to stop the fight and know what you're doing. Like, as much as you might hate the guy because he disrespects your name, I mean, take it on the street if you want to be that way. It's as simple as that. Make it a street challenge.
Indeed.
To me, stuff like that is just like whatever. It's just fatigue crap.
Yeah, for sure. Fatigue. Yeah, got a lot of it. Seen it. Plenty of it. Where to find Unplugged news? A big part of unplugging is getting the right information from the right source. You obviously want to stay away from the mainstream media, except for the forecast. I guess he means weather. In this case, how can we find the right sources and how can we trust that information, whether it's new or historic? What are your best go-to sources and why?
Well, I'm my best source, but I'm not a young man anymore. I'm not a spring chicken. I've done all this stupid shit that allows me to become my best source. So, I mean, if you're a younger man, then tune into these shows and ask questions, call in on the shows, sponsor a topic, super chat your question, if you want to get it in front of us. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that there's no gatekeeping to broadcasting anymore, right? Like 20, 30 years ago, if you wanted to write a book, you need a publisher. If you wanted to create a TV show, you needed a deal or a contract with a cable TV channel or something like that. Those are all gone. The gatekeepers are gone. So anybody has access to broadcast anything, you, me, anybody else. I press the same upload button or live stream button that Mr. Beast would, the biggest streamer in the world or whatever title, it is that you want to give him. The problem is the vast majority of people out there, and I'm just going to say it, they're just young and dumb, and they think they know more than they do. I've always sought out the counsel of older, more seasoned guys than me, and for the most part, I take the counsel, not always, but I think that's what you have to do as a younger guy if you're seeking truth, if you're seeking facts. Again, there's a lot of people that yap, and some of them are good. Like there's some guys out there that I like. There's stuff out there that I am genuinely interested in, whether it comes to things like politics or dating or relationships or anything like that. And I keep an eye on them, usually on the X platform. But trust me, there's way more morons out there saying stuff that they shouldn't have access to. And you're not going to be able to turn them off. I mean, they're usually pretty easy to spot if you get good at it. Maybe that's a better question. Is like, how do you spot the riffraff? Like, how do you separate the wheat from the chaff is maybe like a better way to sort of put it. And I think stay away from people that are young, with some exceptions. Like one guy that's been popping up in my feed a lot lately has been Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
And a lot of his stuff, he's a young guy. He's 26, 28. He would be an exception. And I could see that kid being, I'm calling him a kid, but he's a man. But to me, he's a kid. But I could see that kid one day perhaps being the president of the United States. Like he's got some good ideas. Not everybody's going to love them. But sometimes it takes a guy like that to state the facts and call it like it is. But I think for the most part, like whenever I hear somebody running their mouth that's younger than me, like a lot younger than me, I just tune out. And I'm just like, I don't even listen to them. I'm just like you sound like an idiot. Like you're not even making any sense whatsoever. Do you even know what you're talking? Like, I'll turn on Twitter and I'll see people complaining about Winston Churchill. Oh, he was such a bad. You fucking know what you're talking about? Like, did you read any of his books? Like, did you watch any of the biographies and documentaries on his life or anything? Like, sometimes you hear people talk about certain historical epochs and they just need like one of these, like a backhand. You know what I mean? But just stay away from younger people that really don't know what the hell they're talking about for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know much about Nick Fuentes or his stuff. I mean, I've seen his stuff pop up. I don't really listen to him. I was listening to the interview he was doing with Sam Hyde, but after like a couple minutes, I turned it off and I was going to revisit it. But in any case, yeah, I mean, first things first, if consider why you care about the news in the first place. If you are concerning yourself with things that don't directly affect you, benefit you, or potentially detrimental to you, then you're just wasting time. You want to worry about 1,000-year-old conflicts, blood libels that are never going to be brought to pass. If you want to worry about proxy wars that don't involve you whatsoever, if you want to worry about some politics so far away in a state that you don't live in or that you don't, this sort of thing, it's a lot of it is just masturbation. So I think if you're going to want to figure out, or go and look at news, then you need to be very clear on, okay, what are the topics that I'm interested in that directly affect me, that are going to help me be better, make more money, prepare for XYZ that may happen to me. Anything that interferes or could potentially interfere with my own freedom and sovereignty, or hurt people that are around me that I care about, that's stuff that I want to be in tune with. Anything that could put more money in my pocket and that I should be aware of, or anything that's like, hey, we're coming after this thing that you have, you better lock up a bit, or give us, you buy back your guns, or give us your guns, or hide your guns, or whatever, then that stuff you should pay attention to. But there's a lot of sensationalism in the news, and everything is exaggerated to get you to click on it. And obviously that should be no secret by now. I think mainstream media, I think I get all my news from X. And the good thing about X is that, unlike certain news channels where you can't pick the programming, and you can pick whether it's Fox News or CBS or MSNBC or whatever, you can sort of pick what slant you kind of want to deal with, but you can get very, very curated on X. You can mute certain words. You can follow only the people that you want to follow. You only see tweets from the people that you follow instead of suggested tweets and things like that. So there's a lot of flexibility you have in making sure that you've got I don't want to say the horse blinders on, but making sure that you are really only taking in the things that directly benefit you or affect you, and the stuff you should be worried about, because that's, I think, the best way to go through life.
I just want to touch on, because Deborah mentioned here, Lotus Eaters are very good, very conservative Brits. So they might be very good in some of the discussions that they've had, and I don't watch them. But I do know that the Lotus Eaters did do a interview with Alexander from DateSite. And I mean, I want to like Alexander. I really do, because he's an academic. I can see why people don't like him. But he just ruined the conversation and made it about, I'm so smart, and anybody that's identified as a red pillar isn't. And it's just a shitty conversation. It misses a lot of points. I mean, I don't have a degree on the wall framed in mahogany with little letters after my name, but I know more than fucking Alexander in a lot of topics when it comes to intergender dynamics, relationships, divorce. Like, when I had him on my podcast, when we were talking about the study results that he had, and he completely so we did this study on I think it was red flags or like disqualifiers, and he completely missed height, which is one of the most frequently disqualified metrics that women use to just like swipe left on a guy if they think that he's too small or he identifies as being too small, or whatever it happens to be. And he just screwed up that part of the research. And there's also the stated preferences versus the revealed preferences. They often,
that's my biggest problem with him, is that
Yeah.
he's
Same
getting
thing
the
with
majority
Macri
of his
too.
poll results. Yeah, it's like from
Yeah.
like you're assuming women being honest, but if anybody's ever talked to like watch our like stated preferences and revealed preferences are almost at odds with each other. So like
Yeah. I mean,
these self-reported data points mean nothing.
bottom line, like when it comes to news, I wouldn't be paying too like people get so wrapped up in oh Russia versus Ukraine and Palestine versus I don't give a fuck. I don't give a I don't give a flying fuck what happens anywhere else in the world. And I think that if you take a my country first approach to your life and what's good for you in your neighborhood, you don't care about what happens 7,000 miles away. Fuck that noise. Oh, my ancestors are from there, or that's my religious belief, or whatever. Then go live over there.
That's
Either
exactly what I was
support
going to
the
say to this
country that
guy.
you live in,
Yeah.
or go to the country that you want to support.
It's exactly what I was going to say to this guy. Like, oh, this is where dude, I don't care, right? Like, you must be new here. You must not know that we care about the people in our community, the people in our tribe, the people that we care about, the people in our direct circle of influence. Anything else that's going on over there, like, I couldn't tell you. I don't care.
Yeah, like
I just
this
don't.
guy over here, Frankie, is the
Shout out to
guy that I
Frankie.
care about. He joins the school. He's going to show up for Zoom calls. He's going to go through the content. That's what I'm concerned. I don't give a fuck about Israel and Palestine, right? Stop sending money to fight other people's wars. Stop fucking like the amount of stuff that was revealed during the Elon Musk Doge stuff when he was going through all the books and seeing how they cooked everything. It's just a massive money laundering operation. You guys should be demanding that your government, that your politicians, that your locals support and spend money on domestic issues. That's what matters. Fuck everything. Like the thing that I care about right now is these fucking 7 or 8 brown dudes that were up in fucking Muskoka. They have a video of the plate and they're shooting illegal firearms with illegal clips. And why haven't the fucking cops arrested them yet? Like they legit have the fucking information to go and find these people and lock them up and charge them. And they keep following the OPP and the the updates for it. And they haven't said anything. Oh, we're looking for information. We're looking for feedback. Bro, you got a fucking image on social media of the guy's license plates and their faces. Go arrest them. Right? That's the stuff that I care about locally. I don't fucking care what happens 8,000 miles away or that Japan's population is dying and they don't have enough people to replace them. Not my problem. I don't care.
Yeah, didn't we have a friend that say something happened to some people across the street from him, like just today, where they were like broke the guy's house down or something like that, or they came in and they killed people and they were there illegally. It's like that's the kind of stuff that I care about.
I want to
not all this other
fucking
bullshit.
castle law in Canada so I can shoot somebody in the face if they break in my house. That's what I care about because break-in enters and robberies are fucking ridiculous in the greater Toronto area. And we got a prime minister that keeps talking about Ukraine. We got to support. We got to stand up against Putin. Dude, you can't stand up against a wall with your hunchback and shit. Anyway, I got off that fucking soapbox.
Stay on it. There's another about kids and dating. So wanted to get your feedback on a dating challenge that I've been facing. I've decided a long time ago that I don't want kids, and I started dating a few months ago. So far, my experience has been that the majority of desirable women want kids. I'm 39, and I've really not been able to find anybody early 30s or late 20s that are desirable and don't want kids. The quality of women on the apps tremendously drops when you put the quote unquote don't want kids filter. I've decided to explore dating women that are in their late 30s or early 40s, but not many great options there either. The funny part is I'm at the age where I get many likes from beautiful women in their early 30s and they want to settle down and have kids. I'm wondering if wondering if you face a similar challenge, how you've approached it. Thanks for your feedback in advance.
So here's the interesting thing about women is that they will adopt the beliefs and tastes and opinions of the highest value, strongest, most virtuous person that they can fucking lock onto. For a lot of them, it's the government because the government trumps a lot of these weak plugged-in beta males, right? They don't need no man. They can get their money from the government, their child support and all that sort of shit. They want to go to IV clinic. That's paid for. They want a surrogate. They can get that. There's all kinds of stuff that the government is the authority in. But if a woman like latches her wagon to a top shelf guy, an unplugged alpha, and he says to her, hey, I dig your vibe too, and I like where this is going. But I'm really not that interested in kids. In fact, it's probably off the table. I'm probably going to get like a vasectomy. Like that's where I'm at. then you've given her your clear position, and she's either going to stay around or she's going to go. And if she goes, you let her go, right? Um, she's probably got baby rabies. She doesn't really care that much about the kind of guy that she latches her wagon to. She just wants to latch onto a wagon. And I believe that a lot of these guys get fucked by these women that are just like, they just want to have kids. They're in their 30s. They got baby rabies. They haven't had kids. They've seen their nieces and nephews. They've seen their friends have kids. They think it would be cool, but they don't want to be a wife. They don't want to be a mother. They just want to have fucking kids. They just want to have like the social media clout. So I see a lot of marriages come out of that because guys are like, oh, well, she touched my pee-pee and, she's serious about me and she keeps responding to my texts and she's talking about a wedding and, we're going to plan all this stuff, sort of stuff. If she's not about you, if you're not her first choice, I mean, good luck in 7 to 10 years when she gets bored of your ass and wants to untie the knot and take the kids and alienate you from them and half your shit and fucking, run you through the entire divorce grinder. So if you're not about kids, just tell them straight up. I mean, there are some women that are not about it. I remember I met this gal. She was 26 and I was in my late 30s. And she was like, yeah, I don't want to have kids. I want to have a hysterectomy. I want to get rid of my fucking uterus and all this sort of shit. Like at 20, 25 or something like that. And she's got kids now. She's a mom and she's got kids. She got married for a bit. She got divorced, of course, because she married a dork and, they didn't stay together. But just guys, tell them like it is. Like, I'm going to go back and bang on this drum. You level yourself up. You put your effort and time and resources into yourself. You're going to make more money. You're going to be more influential. You're going to surround yourself with better people. You're going to do cooler shit. You're going to have a more fulfilling life. And a byproduct of that is you get to make better decisions and choices with fucking broads. And if you don't like them or you're not about their agenda because you're firm on it, because you've got options, then that's just how it is. And if she truly loves you, she truly adores you, she'll set aside having kids to want to just be with you. I've seen this happen many a times. I've seen many women just say, fuck it. I don't want kids then. That's cool. Just as long as I can be with you, just as long as I can be in your presence. And then like women will put up with a lot of shit. So a lot of men don't understand this much. Women will put up with a lot of fucking shit if they truly love and adore a guy. They'll put up with not having kids. They'll put up with him stepping out on her from time to time and her looking the other way. They'll just put up with stuff because she adores the guy and he's better than anything else that she can get out there, aka the government, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with any of that. I would say this guy probably is doing two things wrong. One, he's probably shooting himself in the foot by putting "I don't want kids" in the bio. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Give yourself a chance to get on the playing field. Like, get them out on dates, show them that you're
charismatic,
show them that you got game. Yeah, you got to get her out, right?
Because you got to see what you're about. You got to see you in person. You got to see, how you look, how you handle situations. She's got to fall in love with you.
Totally. And you've got to be able to display competence. You got to be able to display attractiveness and that you've got charisma and all that kind of stuff. Until you get her, say he's 39.
I mean, 39. Like you may want kids in 10 years' time too.
That's also true, right? Yeah, it's also true. But, some guys, it's just not part of their plan and that's perfectly well and good. But so one thing I would take that out of your bio because you're just shooting yourself in the dick. There's no reason to do that before you've even, been out with a chick and that kind of stuff. Two, you're dating prime find a man and put babies in me time. Like you're looking for late 20s, early 30s. Like you probably should. He's like, oh, I tried dating, late 30s, early 40s, not many options there too. So yeah. So I mean, if you are getting attractive women to like hit you up and whatever, and then you're getting this, you're in the prime of your value, in the prime of your life, then you should be able to date early to mid 20 chicks. And if that's really the case, like you find a girl that's 23, 24, something like that, most of those girls they're not even thinking about kids for like another 10 years. There are very few out there that are like, yeah, I want to be a young mom, or like, I really love the idea of being a mom. But most of these women want to go be boss babes. They want to go have their shitty, dumbass little email spreadsheet jobs and like go to adult daycare all day. And they want to do that shit. And so it's like, okay, cool. So maybe you find a chick that's 23, 24, keep her around for a couple of years, you do the LTR thing. And maybe by that time you're like, oh yeah, by the way, like, I don't want to have kids. And then she gets to make a decision. So that's how I would play it. But like, take it out of your bio, man. Like the same thing, dude. Guys, take anything having to do with astrology out of your dating profile. Take your height out of it if you can. Or give yourself pictures of you and fish. I mean, we could go on and on, but just the very basic stuff that would just see a girl swipe left on you right away. I mean, you guys can help you're You're not doing yourselves any favors by giving
Here's
women
the
things to disqualify yourself on right off rip.
Yeah. Here's the other thing too that you got to know is that if you're a top shelf guy and you're handsome and you got good genes and you're competent, you're resourceful, and you've got money, pretty much any chick that you're with is going to want your kids. It's just if you don't want them, then you just tell them, I'm not doing kids. Or you might change the way that you feel about it and say, you know what, maybe I do want kids. I just don't want to deal with the bullshit that comes with small children. I get it. Year 0 to fucking 2 sucks. They're screaming all the time. They don't listen. They throw hissy fits. You're dealing with a fucking terrorist in your house, right? And you might just say, you know what? I might do kids, but I'm going to put you up in your place. I'll come visit a couple times a week. You look after the baby. Maybe, at 3 or 4 when things go in a way that you like a little bit better. I mean, you don't tell her all this, but you like,
Right.
maybe we'll live together or we'll set something up or we'll change the fucking dynamics or whatever. But you also got to understand too, guys, that if she's young and she's fertile and you're handsome and you're rich and you're successful, she's going to want your kids. If a woman doesn't say to you, I want your kids, like I want you inside me, like I want your seed, I crave it, she probably doesn't love you.
Totally. Yeah. 100% there. All right, let's see. There's 2 more in here. This one's a shorter question about getting photo shoots done. I'm trying to decide to do the right time to do a professional photo shoot to get some better pictures for my Instagram for both business, networking, and dating. I've lost a lot of weight. Lately, I'm down I'm down 20 pounds since the beginning of May. Congrats. I'm 6'1" and 200 pounds with an estimated a body fat of 17%, but I'd like to get down to 190 pounds and around 15% body fat. My question is, should I wait till I lose the last 10 pounds before getting a photo shoot done, or should I just do it now? I'm in the Northeast, so I think that September is a good time to take photos while we still have some sun, but is it worth it if I still have some extra weight? Would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks in advance.
I mean, if you're coming into fall, you're probably going to wear, pants and long sleeve shirts so you can hide some of the fat. Um, like guys, you're always going to look better at a healthy weight, like 17%, 20% body fat. You're not morbidly obese, but you're not fit. I mean, like you're going to actually pack on some fat in your face, right? Like one of the things you notice about Moff, because, when he first came on the air, like you were what, 240? Higher.
Dude, I don't even my heaviest at one point was 260.
And you'll notice his face is like leaned out quite a bit.
Go back to those early office hours days, man. You can definitely tell.
So, I mean, but failing that, waiting, 6 months or 12 months to lose all the weight, just get some good clothes, man, that fit you nice, do like a fall shoot, earth tone colors like the browns and greens and stuff like that. They usually come off pretty good. Just get it done and then update them again when you lose the weight. Here's the good news. I mean, if you're using them for dating, for example, and you put them on a dating app and, the photos from September and you go out in November and it's like you're 10 or 15 pounds lighter, then you've under promised and over delivered, which is what always works, right? Like if you under promise in life and you over deliver when the action takes place, like one of the things that I do is whenever I do coaching calls, is like, a guy will book me for a coaching call and it could be half hour. I did one the other day for 4 hours and it's like, I always give them way more value than what they're paying for. And even if it's at the end and it's like, we've had the hour, but he's got more shit to talk about or we missed something. It's like, I'll just keep going because that's just the way that I am, right? I want to under promise and over deliver. Same sort of thing, in all areas of your life. So it's like, if you look better in real life than the photography, then that's great. Keep losing the weight, keep on working on yourself, show up, 15 pounds lighter, looking better than what you actually look like in the photographs. Good for you.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot from women, though. You don't see a lot of women that look better in person than on a photo.
It's rare.
That's strictly a male phenomenon. Yeah. 10 pounds, especially if you're coming into the fall or in the winter, is a negligible amount. 10 pounds is really not a lot. Unless you are already creeping towards single digit body fat, like if you're 10, 11, 12% body fat, a 10-pound loss is not going to be a significant difference. And, if you're losing a pound a week, which you still can, then you're talking about like waiting another 3 months. Like, dude, just pull the trigger, get the freaking pictures done. like you're 200 pounds and 17% body fat is not fat whatsoever. If you were 200 pounds at 20+% body fat, I'd be like, yeah, you're probably going to look like shit. But you'll be able to, if you don't have a pouch or a gut or anything like that, I would just get the photos done now, get some out there, get some rotating, get some posted. And then like another 6 months, get another shoot done. What I really think guys should do is just put the photo shoot on the calendar, like do one now and then do one 6 months from now in the early spring. And then that's your North Star to work towards. Like you pay the guy, you're like, I'm going to book you for one in next weekend. I'm going to book you for another one 6 months from today. And I'm going to pay you. It's going to be on the calendar. And now I have this time to get in the best shape. Maybe you take 10 more pounds down, or maybe you take 20 pounds off and then you bulk up a little bit. I mean, there's a ton of things you can do, but yeah, 10 pounds is negligible. And again, maybe you don't lose the 10 pounds in 10 weeks. Maybe you get hurt, or maybe maybe you get injured when you're training, or maybe life happens, or you start to overeat and you don't stay on your diet. Now it's 4 months and you've gained weight. So there's a lot that can happen. 10 pounds is a negligible amount. Just get the photos done. That's what I would do. All right. I think we got one more here, but I'm going to find it. This one is an interesting one. I don't know if if we'll be able to talk about this or not, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. Let's see. I was having a chat with a friend about some unplugged topics, and one of the things we brought up is that part of becoming that guy is to be good in the bedroom. So for that, we have to sleep with a lot of chicks that are made for that. And historically, I'm going to read this verbatim or as much as I can. And historically, it was prostitutes where men had to learn the bad technique or the bed techniques from. So basically, the brothel ladies were doing the job of making us better men, and they deserve some respect for that. But that's another topic. Okay. Now, the question is, how can girls become good wives, but also how can she be a lady in the sheets, but a freak in the sheets, so to speak, that any unplugged man would pick? We don't want them to have a high body count, but we want them to have some experience. Of course, we have to be good in the bedroom and guide them. But for them, does it come naturally to them? If we're good, will she learn in time when we're in an LTR? Will she read about it or learn from other girls? If I had to play devil's advocate, I'd say that a chick having some experience would make a good girl in bed for some sort of LTR/wife situation. But we all know that men and women don't experience body count the same way. So what do you guys think? How can a girl be good in bed to please her man if she has no experience?
You can train her, but I think that the vast majority of successful intimate encounters in the bedroom rely mostly on the guy. And that's just the way it is. I wish it wasn't true, guys, but that's just the way it is. Like, you're the one that's responsible for getting her off and getting her wet and making all the good stuff happen. I mean, she doesn't have to do much. Like, just know how to put her ass up in the air and arch her back properly. Like, it's not difficult. There's a lot to get into this. Okay, so how do we have this conversation without getting this fucking stream shut down or banned? Don't worry about it. Let's just put it that way. Don't worry about it. Like, I would rather train a puppy than have a 9-year-old bastard like, I have this friend of mine, Moff, and he's got these rescue dogs, and they're fucking retarded. Like, you can't pet them, you can't talk them, you can't play with them, you can't feed them. Like, they'll rip your hand off, and they're these stupid little white, useless, like, the ones, right? Barky, yappy. They're just mentally retarded. I'd rather deal with a puppy and train a puppy from scratch than to deal with you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to deal with a chick with a high body count. They bring a lot of baggage. There's a lot of complications. There's problems you got to fix. You got to play Captain Sabo and all that nonsense. I'd rather deal with an inexperienced, pure woman that you can train, that you can mold, that you can have her experience parts of life that she's never experienced with anybody else but with you. So don't look at it like, oh, how do I do this? Or why is this, this is going to be so difficult. I don't know what the notion of the prostitution, the brothels was really, but you should be thankful if you can find a chick that's pure. Just take on the burden and do the work and show her what you like. And that's all I can say, because this is public in YouTube. So, I mean, Mr. Beast is talking about raising money and drilling wells and doing all kinds of like very PG-13 stuff. So we can't really get into the weeds on it. You want to get in the weeds, like sign up for the School of Unplugging and come into the community and show up on the Zoom calls on Wednesday morning, and I'll walk you through step by step how to blow her back out. I mean, you know, I'm born in the 70s and I'm doing it still. So
I would say the women being good at sex thing is really largely a myth. How we measure, basically how guys measure, if they really think about it, say, oh, she was really good in bed, like she knocked my socks off, like, oh, I was, staring at the ceiling going, it's just, is she enthusiastic to be in bed with you? And is she doing things and she's performing things with vigor and gusto and enthusiasm? That's really what makes a chick good, quote unquote, in bed. And the rest of that stuff, you can teach it to her. You can tell her what to do. You can guide her through it. Now, I think the part is he's like, maybe we've got to be, I don't know. He was talking about the brothels and the prostitution thing. Basically, that's how guys used to learn how to get laid. Like, you made your mistakes. So it's like, is that the way that women need to learn? And it's like, no, you're absolutely right, Rich. It's like, she will follow your lead. She will follow your guidance. You can mold her exactly how you want to mold her. But the one thing you can't replace, you can't teach her how to have enthusiasm for you. You can't teach her how to have genuine burning desire. You can't teach her for wanting to rip your clothes off. And if you ask any guy, it's like, well, what made a girl really, really good in bed? It's like, it wasn't like, well, she did this thing or this technique or something it's like she went at it like it was her last time ever. Like she was going to be facing a firing squad the next morning. And she did XYZ ABC with so much enthusiasm. Like I had to push her off and like I had to run away from her to get her off because I just couldn't, she couldn't get out from under her or whatever. So that's really what it boils down to. So focus on women that have high enthusiasm for you, high GBD for you. And then the rest will sort of take, care of itself.
Yeah, don't sweat it too much, man. I know guys put a lot of emphasis on it, but it's like, go watch some of Sterling Cooper's stuff. He's got some.
He's got good stuff.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break and run the mid-roll ad off, and then we'll come back.
Callers, click the link, post, it's pinned, call-in link right there, pinned at the top of the chat.
This episode is sponsored by yours truly. Brothers, if you like me and you take what you put in your body seriously, you'll want to use the Unplugged Alpha supplements. An obsession with engineering higher absorption rates is what sets my line apart from the others. You want to make sure that you absorb as much of the supplements as possible so you don't end up peeing out expensive urine and wasting your money. My supplement line is made in the United States from the highest quality domestic ingredients, and unlike your typical cheap supplements in plastic bottles, only quality supplements ship in dark glass bottles to keep your supplements fresher, longer, and won't seep endocrine disrupting microplastics into your supplements that end up in your body. Nothing is a hard tablet. Everything is in an easily digested, bioavailable capsule. You can filter all products by your goals, including testosterone support, estrogen metabolism, fat burning, sleep support, and performance. Visit www.theunpluggedalpha.com/shop and use the subscribe and save option to get 10% off your recurring supplement orders. Or check out my popular testosterone bundles and save 17%. Guys, if you want to know everything I know today that I wish my dad taught me, start by joining the School of Unplugging. There are over 40 hours of never-before-seen videos in a private classroom that teach you how to create true wealth, create and manage relationships with women stress-free, and optimize your looks, and so much more. There's also a very well-organized discussion board and a members map for networking, along with weekly Zoom calls held by me and my team of experts with backgrounds in strength, nutrition, finance, investing, and entrepreneurship, all for a low monthly membership that you can cancel at any time. Go ahead and visit richcooper.ca, and on the courses tab of the website, you can navigate to the School of Unplugging and get started there. Guys, make sure you check out the rest of my website for my communities, requesting a one-on-one private consultation, or learning about my events. Now let's get on with the show. All right. Well, we were chatting last night, Moff, about Tom Likas, and I dropped this on my feed here yesterday. I want to share this clip. If you guys are unfamiliar, Tom was kind of like one of the OGs when it came to like MGTOW and Red Pill and stuff like that. Guy was married. I'm sorry, I'm going to pull this out. Dude was married like 4 times. Had a very strong opinion on a lot of these topics. Here, let's check this out and see what he has to say.
Why don't you ever talk about the men that don't pay child support?
Because it's women like you who spread your legs for guys like that. Why don't you ever talk about the responsibility of women who choose irresponsible males to procreate with and then complain later when they're irresponsible?
No.
The women who have a one-nighter with a bartender or a guy on a motorcycle or a musician, and then you complain later on the guy's a deadbeat. He was a deadbeat to begin with.
Why nobody can ever talk to you because you don't let any
people talk to me all day long. You can't talk to me.
No, I'm trying to talk to you and you're talking over.
Dear, don't tell me you have to do a radio show. I've been doing this for 25 years. I don't need your help.
Okay, let me. Can I please just say this? I was married once before. Okay. My husband and I had a child together.
Right.
After I was tired of him beating me for 2 years, I left him.
Really? But why did you tolerate it for 2 years? Can you tell me why you tolerated being beaten for 2 years? I'd like to hear about this.
My answer to that is because I was young and stupid.
Okay, I agree with you.
There you go.
You were stupid. No doubt about it. And now what are you going to complain that he doesn't pay child support? The guy who beat you for 2 years? Imagine that. The guy is irresponsible.
Right.
He beat me for 2 years, and now that deadbeat doesn't pay.
So why is it my
There's your big concern. Now we see why you're so upset about this. You chose a manifestly irresponsible, violent individual to procreate with. Then you're amazed that the guy doesn't send you child support.
He didn't.
You're still, you know what, dear? You were young and stupid. Now you're old and stupid. I mean, you're still stupid.
Oh my God, you are
still stupid. You guy who beat you for 2 years now to suddenly become responsible.
I cannot even believe
You're insane.
It is unbelievable.
You can't believe what?
I can't believe that you're still on the radio.
I'm on the radio because I'm right, and I'm on the radio because I've got millions of listeners. That's why.
Yeah, well, you've just lost one.
Dear, you're not the target demographic. I really don't give a rat's ass. I'll bet your husband would agree with me. I'll bet your ex-husband. She hung up.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was like a big OG back in the day. He actually retired, I think, 2023, 2024. It was recently, so he doesn't do it anymore. But I think he had his last show on like satellite radio. But a lot of his shows were like either monologues or trying to hold women accountable, and it was always really funny because, I mean, it's a story as old as time. I mean, this could have been recorded in the 90s. I don't know. It could be 20 years
anytime.
Old. And it's like the same conversation all the time. It's not my fault. I don't know why, he doesn't pay the child support or whatever it happens to be. It's always one thing after the other. And, if you want to get into the weeds with like some of like the stuff that's the originals with a Tom Likas sort of voice on it, go look them up on YouTube. And honestly, spend some time having an interesting evening with it all. I want to share another one over here that I got on my feed. I'm going to try to share mostly videos because I think they're a little more engaging for people to sort of get down. So on TikTok, I don't know if you've noticed this, Muff, because I know you've been broadcasting and publishing stuff, but there's a lot of ads now that start to show on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's like I talked about, and there's a video that I have on my Entrepreneurs and Cars channel, which I think is 9 years old now. And I talk about this specific phenomenon where all advertisers or all ads, even up till today, including the one that I'm about to show you, either portrays the father as a bumbling moron and a mother as a hero, or he's completely removed from the equation. So I want to show you this one over here. It's only 32 seconds.
Every parent's nightmare. The clock is ticking. And in a world where every second counts, it's time for backpacks off. And Game Face is on. Sport Check has everything you need to get your kids back to school and back to sport. From classroom to kickoff. And from math class to match time. Sport Check has it all. Because the rush is real. And when it's go time, you don't just show up. You suit up with Sport Check.
So, Moff, last time I checked, it takes a woman and a man to have children. Is that
Correct.
still consistent?
It does.
That's true today.
True.
And does it take a father to raise a boy into a man still?
Indeed.
I mean, this is the problem that we have is we glorify single motherhood, right? And it's like every single ad as you see it, and you'll start to notice this now more and more, guys, as you're watching this and you tune in, you're like, oh, fuck, Rich just screwed up ads for me now. But that's just the way it is, right? I mean, you'll either see an absent or non-existent father in the advertisement, meaning you're dealing with a single mother, or you'll see the guy portrayed as a bumbling moron. He doesn't know how to use a vacuum cleaner or wash a dish or cut the lawn, change a tire. And, there's this new app, there's this new company, there's a new service that you could hire, which will solve the problem, even if your husband is a moron. The one that I hear a lot now here, I don't know if you have it down in Florida, but there's this app called Jiffy, and it's like every woman needs something done, a shelf hung, a tree taken down in the backyard, dishwasher fixed. Basically, if your husband's a moron or your boyfriend's an idiot, then you can hire a licensed professional from this app, service, whatever, and they'll come and do it for you. And, it's a bumbling idiot story all over again. I don't know if you've noticed that, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is deeply and disturbing and sinister, far more than I think people give it credit for. I think a lot of people will just see this and be like, oh, you guys are taking this stuff too seriously, and blah, 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 this and that. But for my short time, like the last 2 weeks on TikTok, and I can absolutely understand. I'm not saying I'm one of them, and I'm not saying it's the correct choice and it's what men should do. But I understand guys that are like, listen, I did nothing except be born with a dick. I have done nothing except be a dude from birth. And I've spent my entire life told that I'm worthless, I'm useless, I'm dangerous, but I'm also privileged and I should step aside. I have all of this inherent power that should be stripped from me. And I should be like, I have women that comment on my videos and talk about the male offing themselves rate and say, men, you should do it more. We should increase the number of men that off themselves. So I can understand the guys that are like, listen, I've tried very hard to be objective. I've tried very hard to state my case in a very objectively logical way. I'm not calling anybody names. You're a Nazi. You're a white supremacist. You're a misogynist. You hate women. You should off yourself. You shouldn't be alive. And then they expect these men to just go away quietly and just be like, oh, okay. Like if the women on the internet think I'm a POS, then I guess that's just me for the rest of my life and I should just live in a hovel. And then they wonder why these guys are pushing back saying, or they're saying, you know what? Fine. I'm a misogynist. Fine. I'm a Nazi. Fine. I'm a supremacist. Fine. Because no matter what I say and what I do, no matter how nuanced my opinion, or no matter how much I try to be very careful about the words that I say and be very specific, I'm going to get labeled as that anyway. So why don't I just give the people what they want? Why don't I just double down and say, okay, fine, I'm a fascist. What now? What? Where do we go from here? Right? Now what? What do you got? You have nothing. And now I'm empowered by it because guess what? Now there's all these other people that are like, oh yeah, dude, like I'm misogynist too. Yeah, dude, I'm fascist too. Yeah, man, I'm supremacist too. It's like, okay, cool. And then you wonder why these people are growing in numbers and droves. You wonder why there's people like Nick Fuentes out there that are gaining traction and gaining steam. And he's got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. And people are like, how did we create such monsters? It's like, look what you did for the last 10 years. Look at everything you told young men that they're evil and that they're terrible people just for being born. And then you expect them to go quietly into the night. Sorry, that's not how it works. That's not human behavior at its core level. And you guys are going to get what you asked for.
Yeah, it is what it is, I got this clip here about a guy talking about his divorce. And I have warned you guys on many occasions about inviting a woman into your life and living in a way that looks like marriage to the government, because this is what happens to the 50% of men that get divorced. Setting aside the other 50% that stay together, usually in misery, only 13% or less are still in love after 8 years, and less than 3% are in bliss. So the ones that stay together, the vast majority of them are living in a state of misery. But this is what happens to the guys that go through the divorce grind. I want you to pay very close attention.
I was supposed to have my kids today. It's a beautiful Saturday, supposed to be a beautiful Sunday. But no, here I am again, working more overtime to pay the ridiculous amount of child support that the court has forced upon me. On top of that, spousal support, mortgage deviation. I am now paying more in support than I actually make as my base pay. What's worse is the court wants to take more money from me. Not only am I paying for her plastic surgery loan, the solar panels in the house, and every other marital debt we've had, the courts want to take more, saying I am making more. I am working twice as hard to pay for everybody, pay for my kids' well-being, and they want to take even more from me. Tell me, where's the justice in that?
Yeah, but nobody cares about this until they go through the divorce grinder themselves. Nobody knows what it's like until you're that guy. And it doesn't matter how many times I give you examples of that guy, people are still going to do what they're going to do anyway, right? You know, they're still going to listen to some girl that wants to get pregnant and have a family, and you know, she touches your pee-pee and you think everything's great, and you're 36 and she's 35, and you know, off you go to the races. Until 7 years down the road, she gets bored of your ass, goes and gets a plastic surgery loan that you're paying for while she's porking other guys with her brand new tits while you're working, you know, 3 times harder to pay for it all. And you don't get to see your kids. And that's just the reality of the way things work, guys. It's like you have to be very, very, very careful about who you invite in your life. A lot of the problems, a lot of the complications that guys create for themselves, I still think can be dealt with in the dating phase, can still be dealt with in the vetting phase, in the selection process, if you will, the red flags that I talk about in my book, The Unplugged Alpha. You know, this entire podcast channel is based on streaming topics, which was tied very closely in the book. There's another book coming out in a couple months' time. In November, you'll see it on Amazon. Guys at my event in October are getting a copy before then, sign. But this is reality for men, guys. And it's like, be smart about it. I mean, if you don't know, you know, and I get it, like you don't know what you don't know. But if you get an idea, if you get the tingling, and it's like, you need a board of advisors, you need somebody to hold you accountable. This is one of the things that we do routinely on the School of Unplugging, especially when we're doing our Zoom calls. Guys will table ideas. And I'm not afraid to fucking blow it out of the sky with a fucking tactical nuke and let you know that it's a stupid idea in front of everybody. And I'll tell you exactly why every single time. And you know, you got my ear, and I do it with love. But guys, you have to be incredibly careful about this sort of stuff. I mean, you know, guys will go to me, Moff, they'll say, you know, well, where should I, you know, like, what should I do to minimize their risk? And, you know, if they live in, I don't know, fucking New Jersey or something like that, I'll be like, move to Kentucky, Michigan, Florida, or California if you want to have fucking kids, because it's default 50-50. That's a fight that you don't have to have, right? You know, if you move to one of those states. And they never do, because people
like, I don't want to do that.
Oh, I don't want to do it. It's too much work.
Too much work.
Or they
okay.
Tell me about a girl that's got like 3 kids from 2 different fathers covered in tats, and it's like,
she won't move with me.
Oh, she you know, she wants to move in with me. She wants to live with me, so I'm going to let her. And it's like, you fucking know what's going to happen, stupid. You're going to be the third moron that's like paying for all of this. You're probably going to have to pay for kids that aren't even yours. But people don't listen, right? I mean, the vast majority of the time they don't anyway, but when they listen, they fucking listen.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, man. And it's like, not to break, but it's like, this is what you guys get for listening to like Sadia Khan or Pearl or any of these like grifty women that have come into this space. It's like, this is what I never understood. It's like, you guys know that she doesn't live on the same planet as you. She'll never be able to completely empathize with the male experience, because she'll never, ever, there's nothing she will go through. Even if a woman goes through a divorce and she's the one that is left by the man, which is the small minority of most cases, we already know, even then, her experience will not be of the average man's. The average man's divorce experience will be way worse than the average woman's divorce experience, even if they're both the one that are being served with the divorce, even if they're the one that wanted to keep the marriage together. Just because of the way that women are treated in this world and in this country, just because of the way that women are valued and the way that they're treated. It's always funny to me when you hear like objectively, traditionally very attractive women say this. She's like, oh, like, I just walk out in the world and things just happen. I just manifest things. It's like, no, all of these men are doing these things for you because they want to bang you. And it's just, they just don't see it because they don't pay attention to these men, because these men are invisible. So they think that things are just falling their way. I digress. The point is, if you guys really want to get results out of life, and you actually want to get console from people that can tell you what it's like to go through these situations, you want to be around guys that have actively gone through it and came out the other side, and that have some war stories to tell and some success stories on top of that. That's part of the reason the community exists in the first place. Yeah, man, it's all cool that we get together for the trips and we do stuff and we help you get in shape and all that kind of shit. But if you're going to get into a room, you need to get into a room of guys that have been where you are and that have kicked ass in life, and they can tell you how they did it and they can walk you through it. Most guys, when they're going through a divorce, they have nobody to talk to because, for one, they've either alienated all of their buddies and their guys. Are we back? Did we drop?
Oh, you're good.
Okay. I thought we saw we dropped. Like, for one, they've alienated all of their guy friends because they have been the happy wife. They become a wife guy, the happy wife, happy life guy. Oh, I can't come hang out this weekend. I got to go pick out socket covers for the nursery. And then they're like, well, we're not inviting that dumb out anymore because he can't do anything without permission. Or all of his friends are the same dumb, bumbling, retarded idiots that are also saying happy wife, happy life. So where do they have to turn to? So they hopefully find us and they find the guys that have been through it and they go and they try to learn lessons, and hopefully they don't get put through the grinder and they apply the lessons before, but generally that doesn't happen. They usually find us after. And that's the answer. That's a benefit within and itself. That's the main benefit, man. Just be around people that have been where you've been and you can bounce ideas off of guys that have actually done it instead of asking dumb questions or these like fake ass red pill grifters who carry themselves as something they're not just because they sound good or they know what they're talking about, on paper. Shameful.
Yeah, not to pick on this Andrew guy, but this is just like one of the dumbass comments that you read. It's like, Michigan,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Conservative states are the worst for support.
Michigan's not a conservative state, is it? Like, I thought it was blue.
Do you know what you're talking about? Because
even if it is, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I've had the chairman on a podcast from the National Parenting org, and they put out a report card every year telling you what states are the good states. I talk about this in my book. I tell you where to go get the information. I tell you what state are the better ones versus the worst states. And you always get like the bro side. Bro, Sebastian, you know what I'm talking about. I'm the guy in the comments that knows everything. You're a fucking retard. And
Florida.
That's the problem out there is everybody has an opinion and they don't know what they're talking about. Right? Oh, you know more about divorce than I do? I'm the guy that wrote the course on it. I'm the guy that has a detailed chapter in my book on it. I'm the guy that brings on guests on podcasts. You know fucking so much more than I do. Right? Like, this is what you get out there a lot of the times, right? And it's like, I get that it's hard to find to figure out where to get the good information from, but I'm telling you right now, if your lead on the show talking about lives for men, I don't know, has a vagina, you probably shouldn't listen to them.
Probably an idiot.
Sadia Khan, like I talked about that on my other channel the other day. All that high class, posh sort of like nice accent, and we sound like we know what we're talking about. We're an authority. Some dude side check. Can't keep it together in the DMs when, the heat comes on her, right? Like guys that are young that don't know what they're talking about. Look for a seasoned guy that's got it together, that's lived some life, and shut the fuck up and listen to him when he knows what he's talking about. If you can figure that part out. I know it's tough with all the idiots out there, but it is what it is.
Talking out of your ass, man.
I don't know. What else we got?
I saw that one tweet from that preacher, man, that I commented on, but did you see that? It was like, I don't know if we have to bring it up, but the tweet was like some pastor, something. And I said, this is why people are leaving the church. But he goes, regardless of who makes the money in a marriage, it belongs to both the husband and wife.
Yeah, well, that's what family law says. That's how it works out. I bring $1 million to the table. She brings $100,000 worth of student debt to the table. You stick it in a pile, you split it in half, and she gets half your shit and you get half her fucking debt. And that's just the way that it works, right? Women marry up and across. They don't marry down that often. It's rare. Oh, but I married down and my husband's a stay-at-home father. Yeah, and you're probably not fucking him and you hate his guts, and you're probably banging the janitor at your school that you work at or whatever the hell it is that you're doing, right? It's like, guys, I can see through everything. Nostradamus, I literally have a crystal ball at this point, okay?
What when we were talking about that report, what's the actual name of the website for
National Parenting Organization.
Yeah.
Here, I'll pull it up and I'll drop it in the chat for these guys.
Andrew, just so you know, because I know you're clapping back because you're hurt. We hurt your feelings because you don't know what you're talking about. We're getting this directly from this website. We've gone through, there's research done based on the actual laws or based on what's on the books on which states are the best for 50-50 custody or have default 50-50 custody. That's why we're talking about that.
There you go. It's in the live chat, boys.
There you
go
go.
Look at the report
You're
card.
going to go look at it.
I had the chairman on a couple of years talking about
National
all
Parents
these
Org.
specific details, but you know more than I do because you're in the chat. Oh.
Come on, man. Like, why are you even watching? If you think we're lying, you think we're BSing, like, why are you even here?
Literally the amount of value that I give away every single show, like I should be getting royalty checks here from somebody for something for all this fucking value that I'm putting out, right? People want to argue with space. I know more than I do.
LOL, a website. Yeah. A website is inherently untrue. All right. Yeah. This guy's a jerk off. What a fucking dumbass. You sound like a fucking idiot, dude. Like you could just like you're getting killed right now. Like this is the problem.
Go get married, and then just give her half your shit, dipshit.
We're crushing you. You're objectively wrong instead of saying, "Oh, didn't know what you guys were referring to. My mistake." And then you double and triple down and say, "It's on a website." What a fucking idiot, man. God, every day one of you dumbasses shows up. Like, leave. Don't even fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Fucking retard, man.
You get what you get, man. You know, you get what you get. Like I said earlier, the vast majority of people out there are just dumb. They're just stupid. They're not very
idiot.
Right.
No wonder you got your shit taken.
Interpret information. You ever see that movie Idiocracy?
I watched it. I watched it like last week. It's great. It's Judge, where we're going. It's amazing.
It's not a fictional comedy. It is literally
a
predictive documentary on where we're going.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Over time, people are getting like. People just get dumber and dumber. It's just unconscionable to me how we're heading in this direction, and how they. Man, there was this study done. I don't know if you ever heard about like the dentist office study. This is how stupid people are. So they set up this dental office with a bunch of waiting room chairs. It was a setup, you know. It was all with actors and an actor behind the desk, the receptionist, the people in the waiting room with the magazines and their kids and all that sort of shit. It was a total setup. And this guy walks in for his purported appointment with his new dentist. They got the TV going, and then every 3 minutes there's a buzz that goes off, and everybody stands up when the buzz goes off, except for the new guy that doesn't know because he's the setup. He's just sitting there. Do you know how many buzzes went off before he started standing up and sitting down with the rest of the crowd? It was like
I know this experiment. Yeah, it's not that much. It's the same thing. Like they've done this for other experiments. Like they'll stage a bunch of people that are in an elevator and they're facing the back. They're facing the wrong way, and then like some people will just turn around. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Just take the L, dude. It's really not that big a deal. We're trying to help. Like, why are you mad at us for telling the truth? Like, just take the L, man. You know what's funny about Idiocracy real quick? Like I learned about this from, I think it was the Terry Crews Hot Ones interview where it's like, why didn't this movie get big? Apparently they were supposed to open on like 75,000 screens. It was supposed to be the next big comedy. And because they were dogging real brands and real restaurants, like Starbucks became where you would go to get like a hand job or whatever, or like Carl's Jr., like, you know, F you, I'm hungry or some shit like that. I don't know. They're like, yeah, we're pulling this. And it only got released like 1,200. So that was tough, but it's a great flick. Yeah. Mike Judge is a genius, man. So
anyway, check
in
it
any
out.
case, that's where we're going. We are on the way to Idiocracy if we're not there already, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. We can't save everybody. There's unfortunately a lot of dumbasses out there, and they're just going to stay dumb. It is what it is. But, you know, for those of you that acknowledge, you know, your place and you seek betterment. I mean, I tip my hat to guys like that. You know, the guys doing the work that show up, that realize that they're overweight and they lose the weight. They realize that they're insignificant. They don't have money. They go and start something up that actually makes some serious money. I'll take 200,000 retards moth all day long for the one guy that like comes out of it. It's like, yeah, I fucking want it life, right? Like those are the guys that I want to be around, and I just like those guys. You know, that's why I do what I do, and that's why we're here. You know, we're going to keep doing what we do because it has meaning and it changes a life from time to time. I get that some people like to troll and they're just there for the for the lulls, or they want to, you know, have a little go at you, bro. I don't care. I don't care.
Andrew, no hard feelings. Just admit when you're wrong and you were wrong. That's okay. We can all be friends here. Yeah, you can make fun of me for driving an Altima all you want. I don't care. Yeah, there you go. Rich, I'm on your side. Okay, then be on our side, dude. Like, don't get mad at us for telling the truth. We want him back over. Yeah, congrats.
Thank you for watching tonight's show, guys. We got a ladies' night for you tomorrow, I think. Yeah, got a ladies' night for you guys tomorrow.
We're back.
And yeah, catch all the other streams. Make sure you're subscribed to the Entrepreneurs and Cars channel. Make sure you check out Moff with what he's doing on TikTok and his rants. You'll find him on Instagram. You can see his IG handle beneath his name. He's also broadcasting some of that stuff on his YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. All right, guys. If you enjoyed that podcast, make sure you visit my website at richcooper.ca to learn more about my courses, my book, The Unplugged Alpha, community, or booking me for private coaching. Also, if you are a Canadian with $15,000 or more of credit card debt and what you are doing right now isn't paying off the balances, then visit totaldebtfreedom.ca and hit get a free quote to see if you qualify to settle your credit card debt for less than you owe today over the next 48 months. Make sure you check out the top pinned comment on YouTube for all the links mentioned during the show. Peace.